Today is Friday, January 23rd. I'm Paul Caroli, and here's what Denver's talking about. Welcome to CityCast Denver, the show about the city that saw a bunch of big headlines about disgraced elections official Tina Peters getting in a prison fight. But honestly, I've seen bigger fights waiting for a table at Cracker Barrel, and Tina Peters might have been a part of those too.
Yeah. I thought of it as like, so people watch Real Housewives. This was nothing.
Yeah, no.
Like she was literally just like her pushing another inmate.
Yeah.
She was like pushing a big cart.
They sort of were dancing almost, like hands on each other's arms.
I was sort of worried for one of them to fall. And then I was like, why am I invested in this?
I think...
Oh, because the president is obsessed with it, and it depends on all of our futures, how much he feels she's at risk in this prison.
Maybe she feels emboldened, right? She's like, I got Big Brother watching me. I got Orange Mafia guy. I have protection, right? Maybe that's trickling into the prison. So she's like carrying herself in a different way.
So you think she did instigate this fight? Did you watch the video?
I saw a clip of the video, but I didn't have enough attention span to not swipe.
Okay. It's inconclusive.
The clip had not been clipped down enough. Like, we did not need to see the first 15 seconds or whatever. It's just like 3 seconds of her pushing the lady.
Anyway, I'm Paul Caroli. It's Friday. As we do every Friday, we're looking back at a big week of news here in Denver. We're going to be talking about the latest twist in the fight over safety on Alameda Avenue and Mayor Mike Johnston's biggest fears, perhaps including some of those safety advocates fighting him on Alameda Avenue. We are taping the show on video. You can see some clips on our Instagram and our TikTok, thanks to our friends at the beautiful Dude IDK Studios here in 5 Points for that. Bree Davies is with me as usual. Hey, Bree.
Hi.
Bree, how was your week?
I don't know. It's like any other week. Just molds into, then morphs into the next one. Mm-hmm. I think it was good.
Deep here's waiting, wearing a Broncos jersey. You going to watch the game this weekend?
Nope, probably not.
What?
I've tried. I care about the Broncos as like civic pride, but like football's the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. And I like baseball. But baseball, I like. I've already talked about this. Like, I go the princess route if I'm going to a Rockies game. I go at like, I don't know, 3 or 4 innings in, leave an inning or two before. I don't need to see the whole thing. My parents made me play softball when I was a kid. But
really?
Football, I played softball, golf, basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had to play sports. I mean, whatever. But
which one were you best at?
Probably golf. I actually learned at Park Hill from a guy I called Larry the Toothpick. I feel like I talked about this before.
This I do remember, yeah.
Yeah, because of Tiger Woods
Larry
and all
the
that.
Toothpick.
Because he always had a toothpick in his mouth.
Okay.
No, football's I don't get it. It's so boring. Nothing happens. It's like stop.
Which is crazy
Stops.
I would have believed that sentence if you didn't follow with, but I love baseball.
But I like watch baseball for a minute and then I leave. Like, I don't need to see the whole thing.
Baseball's about the hang.
I found it in basketball. This is like a journey that our longtime listeners have been on with me. Is when I got pregnant. It was during like still like heavy pandemic, nothing to do. So I watched basketball with my husband. I love basketball. It moves. It's quick. It's not all night long. It's like, and there's drama. Football. Whew. I know my aunt is going to be so disappointed. I'm sorry, Aunt Diana.
Have you watched a football game at like a bar or like a watch party?
Probably not. I went to one Broncos game once and it was cool, but I was like, it's freezing. What are we doing here?
I think going to the stadium is the worst way to watch a football game.
Really?
Yeah.
By far.
My diehards
It just
in my
feels
family,
like you're at a
Agree.
I hate it. You're just at a big TV set.
Yeah.
Half of the game is the between the plays, the speculating. The most important player on the field is the coach.
Exactly.
The decisions that guy makes, the strategy of it, balancing everybody's strengths and weaknesses and abilities, and the environment. Like, that's the most interesting stuff.
Yeah, the thing about football, I think, is it's a very social game, right? Basketball is like very intense, so you're like just reacting. Soccer is also like you're just watching the whole time, right? Football is made for the ADHD American consumption in mind, where it's like, you do a play, and you're like, how about that play, Johnny? How about that play, Uncle Jim? And you're like having this conversation in the middle of it. And you can also debate, right? Oh, here's the third commercial in 2 minutes. So we're going to have another conversation. So I feel like it's a very social game. It's like a very thing you watch with other people. But it's different than those high, fast sports.
Mm-hmm.
I think of it just like people have their individual entertainment types of things that they like, that they're spectators of. Mine is concerts. I've been to hundreds, thousands of shows probably. And I know some folks that are like, I've been to like one concert in my life. I cannot. Yeah. And like, that's how it is to me, is like, I'd rather go to a show personally.
I've been to like maybe 10 concerts. One of them is Coachella, which I think is like 100 concerts.
Yeah. Festivals are a whole other thing.
6 of those 10 concerts were one artist.
Who?
Macklemore.
You and my cousins. Oh my God.
Macklemore.
I was really into him when I was like a teenager in early 20s, and he would tour like cheap shows in like Fort Collins and like Denver.
So because his producer went to school here.
Yeah, but
so
he was like super like, he was like $5 to go see it. They would like give out tickets for free.
Sure.
And then he became.
He had like a song that was, what was the song? Thrift Shop.
He also had Same Love. He had like he's like rapped about like Palestine, the Black Lives Matter movement. He's been on the cutting edge of like all these social issues for the longest time. Mm-hmm. He's been independently produced. I liked it. He won Best Rap Album of the Year over Kendrick Lamar.
And then he had to be sorry about it.
How bad the Grammys are, but
yeah, I was like, that's the Grammys' fault. That's not his problem. He's from Seattle. I know that because he and Sir Mix-a-Lot are the two big rap artists. From
his
Seattle.
first show ever was in Fort Collins.
Yeah, that makes total sense. At
the venue downtown.
The Aggie.
I think I would like concerts more if they were more like football. If it was like artist comes out and does a song and then they go backstage and then I get to watch footage of them discussing the band, who's playing well tonight, what song should we play next? Okay, and then they come back out and then you get to see them perform the strategy that you've watched.
I would argue too, if you do just watch a concert, you can see that happening. You're like, oh, these two are not getting along today, or this band should not be on tour anymore. They hate each other, and everyone can see it.
I wish I could see that more. I never got to that point.
Man, some bands I'm like, you guys need the money. I get it.
We could be a concert analysis, like the Tony Romo.
Yeah, give me the concert play-by-play.
Oh, totally, for sure. Because I'd be like, oh, this is clearly like, okay, they're going to do this is the kind of band that does their hits and then they do their deeper cuts, or like, this is one of those dumb shows where the band only wants to play their new music and everyone's like, why? Give me what I want. The Mars Volta just did this, and I am just, Mars Volta's fans are attracted to me. I'm married to one. They're not a band I like, and they're a very hard band to like, and I like noise music. They're not my thing, but my husband was like, they came out and they didn't play any of their hits, and it just like, he was like, but it was fun. He was like really trying to defend it, and I was like, you just didn't have a good time. It's okay. It's okay to say that. But for me, it's like concert time. Like people are like, oh, I saw Springsteen. He played for 3 hours. I have seen him and he does play for 3 hours, and I'm like, I don't need to see somebody for 3 hours. 45 minutes is perfect.
I saw Springsteen with my dad at a arena in Columbus. I was like 13. We didn't know it was going to be that long.
Oh, really? This man is a workhorse. Yeah. So
didn't have the stamina. My 13-year-old butt got sore.
I don't blame you. I really don't. I'm not a fan. The only band I've ever seen that played for over 2 hours that I was like, this is the best moment of my life, was Sonic Youth. And like, that's like cult level stuff. So I don't know. I get it though. So if anyone wants to go to a concert with me, I'll analyze it for you.
Play by play.
Clearly.
All right. Well, you've heard his voice. We'll introduce him. He's one of our favorite regular guests on politics, food, and whatever else. Co-host of the new progressive politics podcast, Left in the Attic. Welcome back to the show, Deep Singh Badesha. Welcome back, Deep.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And you are clearly excited about the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't want to yuck y'all's yum. Let's talk about the Broncos. So the game last week was a nail biter.
My yum is unstoppable.
Okay,
it cannot be yucked.
I don't want people to think I'm a hater. I don't watch. I support.
Fine.
The thing is, the haters make the yum that much better, right? Like if you're a sports fan, but everyone liked your team, not as much. It's proving the haters wrong.
The haters of the team because they like another team, to be clear. Because you know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah.
Like how people felt about Raiders fans in the 80s here.
Yeah, I think
or the 90s.
If you're into sports and someone's like, sports ball, that's like,
If someone calls it sports ball, I'm like, why are you at this party, bro?
I'm with you.
The rival fan, that's the hater you like. That's a great hater. Yeah. You know, if you're having a sort of like a trash talk around the game. I read this great thing. I mean, this is something to watch speaking of why football on TV is so good. But if you watch the games, a great broadcast like NBC Sunday Night was what this profile was about. The footage of fans sad the producers of the broadcast, they think about this strategically, how much of the sad fans they pepper in with the happy fans. So you see the drama of the agony and the ecstasy together. They have a word for the shots. It's called bummage. And ever since I read this, my wife and I talk about bummage every time we watch a game. Like, oh my God, that fan was so devastated.
Nice.
They're weeping in the stands. And it's like, that's the best part of the whole game.
For me, the Buffalo Bills game was extra special. So I grew up in Colorado, right? My mom and dad were both huge Broncos fans as well. But my sister moved to Rochester, New York, where her 2 kids were born. So my niece and nephew have grown up as Bills fans. And my nephew now is like 8 or 9 years old, and he's so into the Bills, right? I've tried to send him Broncos jersey, rejects them, right? He loves Josh Allen. So we were in our family group chat, and after the game, I called him up. I'm like, how about that? And he's like, you cheated!
How'd that go?
You cheated!
Yeah.
And just to tease him, I'm like, yeah, we bought the refs. Didn't you know you could do that? So he's just frustrated. That's the best, you know?
It can be a unifier in that way because I feel like we have family in Kansas City, and every Chiefs game, it was like either my dad was calling my uncle or my uncle was calling my dad, and they were fighting about it, and then they were like, okay, talk to you next week.
Yeah, it's fun.
You know?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, go Broncos. Let's do the show.
You got this, Stiddy. We believe in you. Stiddy Hope.
I have a couple of business things to talk about before we get to our top story. 3 things. Number 1, we are hiring. There's about a week left to apply to become our new audience development manager. We're looking for an experienced marketing professional who gets CityCast and wants to work closely with us to reach even more people. I'm talking about social media, community partnerships, and ideas that you have that you can bring to us. Check out the job listing in the show notes. Number 2, our annual guest diversity report is out. This is a cool thing CityCast does. Every time we have someone on the show, we ask them, we give them a demographic survey, and at the end of the year, we sum it all up. So you're not going to see any individuals in there. It's just aggregated, but you'll see that we basically matched the population of Metro Denver in 2025, which is our goal. That does include an increase in Hispanic guests this year. We under-indexed on Hispanic guests in 2024. We had more male guests than female, which is something that we'll be working on in 2026. And we also over-indexed in non-binary guests, which...
I mean, we're working on it.
That seems nice.
You know, more people, more voices, more representation across the city. That's what we're working on.
That's the goal. This is a tool.
Did you over-index on South Asian Sikhs?
Yeah.
I was like, South Asians, yes. You and one other person.
And anyway, the last thing
about race.
I don't want to get too far into it. People have their own opinions about it. Third is we have a member events coming up soon at Convivio Cafe, the Denver Awards winner for best bar/restaurant.
And if you're a member, you get to find out when that is, and so you get to come hang out with us. And our producer Olivia Jewel Love and our social media manager Abby Madigan have been putting together this really cool idea of a bingo card for the next year for yourself, things you want to accomplish, but also we're going to be making a giant one for CityCast, and we need your help filling it out. So if you're a member, you can come hang out with us. You can also become a member right now. Membership.citycast.fm. Join us so you'll get the deets.
Yeah,
we'd love to see you.
Fun time, but also genuinely, we want your help shaping the future of the show.
And we'd love to see you. We had so much fun at the award show. It's been a while.
I always love hanging out with our people.
Come hang out with us.
Great.
Yeah.
Great neighbors.
Yeah.
Like a great neighbor, CityCast is there.
That's right. That's our
sounds familiar.
I hope that's not trademarked. Ugh.
I'm sure it is.
Call Jake from State Farm.
It is. They're not a sponsor, but we're open to it.
They could be.
Let's move on to our top story. Alameda Avenue. We're going to talk, we got a couple of topics today about Mayor Johnston's biggest fears. I think the question of the whole show is, what should he be more afraid of? The shaky supply of new apartments or street safety advocates? We're going to start with the street safety stuff in Alameda because this week we saw yet another twist in the ongoing saga around this whole infrastructure revamp project on Alameda. I do want to quickly catch everyone up on this because we've been talking about it a lot, but if it's your first time hearing about it, this is the TLDR. We are at the end of what was a 5-year planning process from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. They produced a plan to remove a lane of traffic on this stretch of Alameda where there's 4 lanes and it feels dangerous to walk on it. Cars move fast.
Between Franklin and Logan? or farther than that.
It's like
the
a
Wash Park
10-block
section.
stretch in Wash Park, yeah. So once the plan was published, some neighbors were upset about it because it would slow down traffic and people like to drive there. Jill Anschutz, in particular, the daughter-in-law of billionaire Phil Anschutz, hired a lobbyist, gathered signatures, and requested meetings with Dottie leadership. Dottie then changed plans. No more lane removal. They have a new plan. I call it the Anschutz plan. Is just to repurpose a lane only for left turns, but to keep it those 4 lanes. That led to a massive uproar. It felt like the latest in a long line of rollbacks of street safety and bike projects under Johnston. The South Irving bike lane, 2900 block of Larimer, allowing cars back. Bike safety infrastructure removed downtown. 29th Avenue bike lane downgraded. There's a long, when you look at it, there's like,
feels
he's
very
only been in
counter
office.
to Vision Zero to me.
This is the debate. So this week, a very tense meeting at City Council. Amy Ford was there facing very hard questions from council, from members of the community, folks calling for her to be fired. And the takeaway is Dottie is going to implement a new temporary pilot plan of the Anschutz plan to show people that it's good, I guess. What do you think about this, Bree? We've been talking about this for months.
I mean, again, showing my biases. I live on Alameda. My mother lives right in the middle of this section. She lives like a block off of it. I'm on this a lot. It is people go too fast for it being right through the middle of a neighborhood. Part of it is, I think, that we don't talk about is this is the end of the country club. So this is where you can't get through to that neighborhood in any other space unless you go all the way over to, I think, to Spear in some parts of it.
Yeah, there's those giant houses just off the country club.
Yep.
And the country club land.
Yeah.
And so
if you're coming off I-25, that's probably how those people get home.
Yeah.
But at that part of Alameda, right, it's pretty industrial. Like there's that McDonald's right there, right?
Oh, are you talking about commercial?
Yeah.
I mean, just for that once.
And then it turns into more residential.
It's residential and it's a mix, though, because it's like also it's a lot of businesses right up on Alameda that people would be walking to. But it's kind of scary to walk on it. And I would just say, the point I was trying to make was I lived in the part of Barnum that I used to live in. I lived on one of those streets that was one of the only thoroughfares between Colfax and Alameda. It just has so much more traffic because there's nowhere else to get over to that side of town. And so I think that's part of the reason it's so busy. And I mean, I guess with this particular situation, I feel for the advocates. It seems to me, based on the things that they've presented, that this process had been going on, like you said, for 5 years. And they were under the impression that one plan was going to be put forth. And then it felt last minute like that plan changed. And I just see their frustration. And my concern is, what does this mean for the rest of us who need this kind of infrastructure support in other parts of our city? Are we even going to get there?
But what do you think about this pilot idea that they're going to be like, hey, just try it out? You know, what if you just tried it? You might like it.
I would be offended. I would be very offended if I was the safety advocates, because it feels very much appeasing to the last minute folks that want to keep this essentially a freeway in the middle of a neighborhood. It feels like we're just going to show you what they want is better, and then we're probably just going to leave it, is how it feels to me. We're not going to actually implement any of those things that we talked to you about making it truly safer, because I think that was one of the sticking points. Was Amy Ford, executive director of Dottie, said at one point, taking out one lane, taking out 2 lanes, it's the same. It doesn't. And they were like, no. Reducing the traffic does make a difference. So reducing it even more would make a difference. And I don't know, Dottie kind of acted like that was not true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They've changed their tune on this. 9 News pointed out that they previously rated both plans as the same for pedestrian safety, and now they're rating the old plan as less safe than the new plan.
Like, just
that's a moving targets. And I'm kind of torn about it at this point, because I'm like, I would love to have a real traffic engineer do a full analysis. Like, I would love to have, I don't know how much it would cost, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but an independent analysis of the 2 plans and just publish the whole thing. Like, show everyone all the information, everything, because everyone just has conjecture and hearsay. The safety advocates, we don't know. I mean, we all have a general sense that 3 lanes is safer than 4 lanes, but no one knows.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trusting them, and the trust is broken. But the other part of me, and this is why I'm torn, is like, this whole thing is so borked already. There's no getting out of it. It's just as soon as they abandon the first plan, it's an unavoidable quagmire that there's no winning for Mayor Johnston right now.
I think they're just trying to buy themselves more time, right?
Dottie is?
Yeah, Dottie is. In general, it's like, oh, we have two competing interests. We have the voices of these angry folks here, and then we have like more rich folks, maybe fewer voices, but they're loud in a different way.
They don't have to be as angry because they have more money.
It becomes louder in a different way, right?
Sure.
So let's just buy ourselves some time. Let's kick this down the road, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. Let's see who's still mad in 2 years. Let's see what's happening, who can kind of like grease our palms in a certain way or, push us in a certain direction. And this is something you see in government all the time. Be like, oh, that didn't go so well, so we're going to give it another 6 months. Oh, that didn't go so well, so we're going to give it another 3 months, right? We see this studification, this like group think, like let's make a working group. Let's make a task force. Let's do this other thing. And this happens all the time.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, kick it to committee, talk it out. We can't agree, so we're going to just keep talking.
Somebody gets up and cries.
That's what I thought they were doing back in the fall. When I went to this neighborhood meeting, that's what Amy Ford said they were going to do. It's like, hey, we're going to come back in 8 months with the update. And I thought it was just going to be like, go away, like wait it out. But a pilot project on the street of the change is going to be in people's face every day. Like, think about when there's accidents. We're going to see one accident, and that's going to be a spark for a whole nother round of fighting over this whole same issue. And there will probably be some accidents because even regardless of which plan we go with, it's still a dangerous strip.
It is just fascinating thing that liberals and Democrats who run Denver, right, are more obsessed with a slow process and trying to get something right or not stepping on any toes than just doing something, right? I think more people would be respectful, like, you know what? We actually like their idea better. We're just going with it. Tough. Vote us out next time. Or, hey, we actually are going to keep with this idea, and if you don't like us, vote us out. But that's never what they do. And it's so frustrating to see this.
But in this case, you can't really do that because the council people that are fighting on behalf of the advocates, you can't vote out the executive director of Dottie.
Well, you can vote out the mayor.
Vote out the mayor.
That's fair. That's fair, I guess.
I mean, he is losing all these people. I was talking to one of these street safety advocates, David Mincer, yesterday, who has been one of the more like he's been running Cora requests. He fundraised over $2,500 for a Cora request for emails, which was like, these people are so fired up. I kind of love that. But he's like, I supported Mayor Johnston. And then it was a steady trickle of all of these rollbacks of street safety projects. And now we're at a point where we're getting this runaround and it seems like these billionaires have influence and I can't even get an email back.
What I found particularly powerful in this hour and something long committee meeting we both watched yesterday, Paul, was just when Councilwoman Flor Alvidrez spoke. This is her district. This section is in her district. And she was very passionate about it. But one of her biggest concerns was, what is precedence is this setting, right? If this is the process for this part where affluent people who have time and money to spend fighting this can't even get street safety improvements, what does that mean for working people in other neighborhoods that don't have time to go to all these meetings and do these core requests? And I saw a really visual example of this in my neighborhood because I was on Sheridan the other day, almost to Alameda. And Sheridan, I think, is a highway, so it literally is never going to change. It's like, I don't know, 6 to 8 lanes across in certain sections. If you go under 40, people try to run you over. And I watched a 12-year-old kid dart across this thing to get to his school. And I thought, I'm thinking of my kid. I'm like, oh my God, this is someone's kid. And I know that I bring that up all the time, but like putting the human cost on it, it sucks because a lot of times that's the only thing that maybe even gets something to change is someone has to die first. And I think that this could have gone a different way and been a better example of government working when we made something safer for more people. And it just doesn't feel like it's going that way.
Well, it is going to be safer. I do think that this plan is an improvement. I don't know if any of the street safety advocates would argue that the Anschutz plan is not an improvement over the current situation.
Well, maybe I guess an incremental improvement, but yeah. I like the idea that you're kind of saying, Deep, though. Like, what if at some point someone was just like, you know what, we're just going to do something really radical and like.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no emotion.
Which could go both ways.
That, you said Councilwoman Flor Alvidrez was talking about what precedent does this set? Like, newsflash, it's 2026. The precedent has been set. This is how politics works, right? If you're a working class person, if you're an average person, if you want safer streets, if you want Vision Zero, you need to take the time out of your 9-to-5 job. You need to
or your
get your neighbors
12-hour
together.
job,
You need to get $2,500 for a Cora. You need to organize and organize and organize. You have to basically make it your part-time job to organize your government for change. Meanwhile, if you're a rich person,
you hire somebody to do it.
You just hire a lobbyist to do it. And it's people sometimes think that the corruption that happens is literally like rich person writes a check and then the government official jumps. These government officials are still constrained to the same public comment, all that. It's just hiring extra help. These lobbyists
do that work for
open up doors and access, right? These lobbyists have time and talent to persuade these people of things, and they will just outwork you to a certain extent. So let's say they do this 6-month pilot program, right? And this gentleman you just said that gathered up $2,500. The economy's a little bit worse in 6 months. Let's say he's asking people again, like, hey, we're still doing this fight. And they're going to be like, oh, man, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, I'm tired,
right? And that's why things don't change.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Well, I guess it'll be an incremental improvement on Alameda, but chosen for us by an Anschutz.
The billionaire thing is like, I think that's what Mayor Johnston should be afraid of. Back to my original question of what are his biggest fears? What should he be afraid of? Like, I think that people have different senses of what he's about. Like, there's the guy he wants to be, which is like the kind of move fast, break things. I go for the best possible solution. I do the research, and then I fight for it as hard and fast as I can, and damn the haters, and we're just doing it. And he didn't do that in this situation at all. Like, this was a we had the plan, we did the research, we thought we had the best solution, and then we just totally threw it out the window and have gotten bogged down in everyone complaining and everyone hating this. And it seems like he's just listening to the billionaire. And that's the other part of his reputation, is he's a guy who's been very successful fundraising from really rich white dudes. Mm-hmm. And that's fueled his political career. And I think that maybe is outweighing the other part that people like and people elected him to do.
And it's like the cost you said, Bree. It's like human lives, right? It's not an imaginary
I'm not
cost.
trying to be over dramatic, but that's what this is. This is the issue at hand. Is like someone who lives on the street has a big sign up like about what's going on. And if you live on one of these streets, I'm sure. So my sister-in-law lives in Harvey Park, and she lives along Lowell, which is like a speedway, and she lives at the curve. Her fence, people have driven through it, I don't know, 4 times in the last 5 years. Literally driven through the fence because of where her house is positioned on this street. Mm-hmm. She's had to get it fixed. She's had to get it replaced. Only one of those times, I think, was a drunk driver. So it's like, well, this is the cost you incur if you decide to live in the city. It just feels like it just feels like this is where where the rich people have the people to do the work. They're also just not even seeing the impact themselves. Like, they're not having to deal with that on a regular basis. The average person can't afford to fix their fence 4 times. Anyone replaced a fence here? It's expensive.
Yes.
No. It's
currently fighting with my neighbor about who's going to pay to fix the fence.
Right. So fences are expensive. That doesn't count the human cost. So the funny part was this idea of like, who Mayor Johnston should be more afraid of: people that want to keep people alive or rich people. like that's what these advocates are saying. It's just like they want.
Can you explain that?
I'm saying that, like, why are we so afraid of people who are advocating for safety?
Because they're going to vote his ass out.
I hope so. I mean, I hope that it gets all the way down that line where we can see some change based on a situation like this. But I just don't know if everybody's got the stamina.
Let me put my cynical political hat on. Okay. On one hand, you have rich donors with unlimited funds. On the other hand, you have a bunch of angry people. In 1 year from now, when there is a mayoral election, this person can just write a $200,000 check or $1 million check. These people have to keep the attention up. They have to get their friends together. They have to email.
They have to go to all these meetings.
They have to go to all the meetings. They have to knock all these doors. So you're like, pick your enemy, right? And it's like, oh, we're going to just split the baby in half. Maybe everyone will be fine. We're just going to keep this kid down the road. So maybe this 6-month pilot program becomes a 18th-month pilot program.
Well, yeah, I was like, if I know anything about pilot programs in the government, just look at the public restrooms project. I've talked about this before. I worked on the public restrooms project. Those public restrooms do not really exist or fun. It was a pilot program.
They reopened the ones on 16th Street.
But they didn't expand them or any, you know what I mean? That was it. So, yeah, a pilot program to nowhere.
But sometimes change does happen. Note how Paul said 16th Street.
Good job.
We've done it. We've done it.
The future. So you put on your cynic's hat I'm going to pull up my optimist socks and say, in a year when there's a mayoral election, all those people that you said, oh, what are they going to organize? Are they going to write signatures? Are they going to get together and vote and make a change? Hell yes, they are. That's democracy. People love doing this. It's a great feeling to be a part of something like that and to fight for what you believe in and to make a change. And in this city, I've seen it happen many times. People have done it. That's how Mayor Johnston got to where he is in the first place.
The most passionate group of people I have ever met in my time in politics, well, actually two groups. One, vegans, but the other group was Ditch the Ditch people. Do you remember the Ditch the Ditch people?
I-70
Yeah.
project.
I have never met such a passionate group of people. They made community with that. They made so many signs. They worked so hard. And now
they didn't want a highway expanded through their neighborhood,
And
which had already been.
Those people were passionate.
I
They
don't,
really tried.
but it's also like, there was no other option for them. You know, it was like either be passionate or sit back and watch the government do what the government has been doing to neighborhoods for decades.
They have
the Robert
the option.
Moses effect is alive and well. We're watching it right now with Alameda.
I just think this is like, I've been thinking a lot about being an American lately. I mean, for national politics reasons. And the fact that we get to do this and you have this place that you have a system where you get to have your voice heard. If you organize, if you try and you fight for it, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Or it gets circumvented by a rich person writing a check and Dottie deciding to dump a 5-year plan.
Well, I'm not saying it's not a tall mountain to climb. It definitely is, and the forces are stacked against you. But it's something that can give life meaning.
You know, Optimist Sox wise, the Park Hill Golf Course people, they got their way. So it's a park now.
That's a great example.
That's a different... That was kind of a situation.
Yeah, well, we're not going to get into it.
That was like rich people versus rich people.
I know how much you always are trying to get us back to the Park Hill Golf Course, but we're gonna leave the Alameda situation for now. We want to know how you feel. Obviously, we're gonna keep talking about this because they're doing this pilot thing. So 720-500-5418 is the number to call. Leave us your name, your neighborhood, text or a voicemail. I prefer voicemails. We love hearing your voices. 720-500-5418. We're gonna go to a break and then come back and talk about one of Mike Johnston's other biggest fears.
Did you know CityCast Denver has a perks program? Every week, we're highlighting some standout deals from our favorite businesses in town to help you support local and save some money. It's a win-win. Here are some highlights from this week. Check out Meow Wolf's Adultiverse Space Rodeo on January 17th and experience the worlds of Meow Wolf Denver transformed into a 21 and up psychedelic party. Saddle up for an intergalactic adventure. Just use code GIDDYUP for $4.20 off an Adultiverse ticket. Offer available for redemption now through January 17th. Or what about Topo Designs? Just visit a Topo Designs retail store and mention this ad to receive 20% off your purchase. Some exclusions apply. Valid until February 1st. Looking for some fun? Check out Green Door and pre-order a curated cannabis box for your Denver trip. Includes edibles, snacks, and local accessories. Ready for pickup near your stay. No stress, no lines, just a better trip. Use code DenverPerk for $10 off any experience box. To see a full list of participating businesses, just visit denver.citycast.fm/perks. It's a great way to check out new restaurants, shops, and events in the Mile High City without breaking your budget. And I love that for you.
And we're back. Okay, so we've been talking about things Mike Johnston is afraid of or should be afraid of. Next up is the rental market. His words this week. This is the whole reason for the topic. Denverite reported, based on some new data from the Apartment Association of Metro Denver, rents are continuing to fall, now down to 2021 levels, which might not seem like a lot because they were already quite high in 2021 relative to the past, but they are falling, and many new buildings are coming online. However, Mayor Johnston said to Denverite that there are 20,000 unbuilt units stuck in development limbo, and therefore the supply of new units is at risk. This is what he called one of his biggest fears, this potential construction slowdown. And the possible lack of future supply. So, Deep, I want to talk to you first about this. Do you think he's right to be afraid of this?
It is a problem of our own making. And I get the whole idea that we need to build a lot more housing, right? And we need housing across the board, every sort of which way. His concern is like, if we stop building the housing, prices will go up again. We'll have issues all across the board with people not being able to afford to live in Denver, moving out of Denver, all that. The issue, I think, that I have with his comments is his only solution is private developers need to have an incentive to come and build in Denver. And how can I incentivize those private developers? But the issue is, in a normal free market system that, people imagine in their Econ 101 class, is the free market will compete until profits are 0%, right? That, oh, you're making 5%, I want to eat your lunch, so I'll build at 4%. Oh, you're building at 4%, I want to eat your lunch, and I want to build at 3%. That's not how the modern economy works anymore. People who invest to make buildings, people who want a big return on their investments, this is a $100 million project, $200 million project, they look at these things called cap rates, capitalization rates, where they want a certain amount of profit for the money they're investing in. In Denver, when I talk to my developer friends before the show, I'm like, hey, what's the cap rate that people are looking at, right? They're like 6.5% is ideal, if not 7%, or it doesn't even pencil out. But usually people want double-digit cap rates, right? So when he's talking about these apartment complexes are in limbo, it's like, oh, yeah, these developers were trying to make something. It doesn't look like it's going to be as profitable as they want to, so they're not going to build it anymore. And how can I make it more profitable for them? And I feel like, are they the only people able to make housing? Like, if you look at Europe, if you look at Asia, if you look at Latin America, if you look across the world, the public can build housing. There's other groups that can build housing. And it's frustrating to see that,
Are they going to do it without the incentive of profit?
The public doesn't need a 6.5% cap rate, right? It just needs to be sustainable over the length of a project. So, seeing his comments, I understand the worry is real in terms of hey, we still need more housing. It's weird to couch it in rents are falling, so this is a bad thing.
That was the part that was confusing to me.
I think his whole thing is rents are falling, meaning the economy is going to go down or whatever. And I don't think that's a good thing. You want rents to fall. But this shows how the market thinking about a commodity like housing, like a good that you need like housing, doesn't work. Same with food, right? You see this all across the board. And not to put my socialist hat on too much. Well, we already did a hat and socks. Yeah. So my socialist gloves.
Do socialists get gloves?
A shirt?
Does the government going to make gloves?
Everybody gets one glove and we just share it. So that's how it works. It's a left glove only. But I mean, it's frustrating to see this kind of stuff.
Bree, what do you think about this?
I mean, I think that he's just making a point that I would also argue as well, as this is more radical housing advocates, folks that are into social housing or providing housing for all people at a certain level. And if you want to spend more and buy more, you can. But at some point, there's shelter for everyone. I think that's where it just gets really frustrating, because it has constantly been this conversation about how do we entice it and make it profitable for people to build housing, when it's a necessity, but it's not seen as a necessity. Mm-hmm. It's seen almost as a luxury in some weird way. It was weird to me to be talking about this along with the rents dropping, because that sounds great. That's all people have been asking for. I'm thinking back to this conversation I had earlier this week with the state demographer. Our population is slowing down. It's just slowing down. A big part of that, affordability, for sure. There's other more affordable places to live. So it's like math that Denver just can't seem to figure out. And I think that there's a ton of really cool, interesting things happening in the affordable housing space, but I just don't think that it's just not profitable. So until we've changed our mindset around what housing should mean for our communities and society, it's just not going to work.
And again, if we're taking their the people who believe in the free markets and the people who believe in capitalism all in, you shouldn't be needing to make it as profitable as possible for these people, right? They should be oh, he's going to build it for 6.5%. I'm going to build it for 6. Oh, he's going to build it for 6. I'm going to build it for 5. So you want to see this race.
I think that happens.
You want to see this race, but now everyone's panicking oh, they're not making enough money, so they're going to stop.
You know what else is a factor that I kind of want to ask you about, Deep, is so I talk to these people at the Apartment Association. I love their data. I enjoy their insights. And they say a few things that I find curious and I don't really understand. But one of the things that I have heard several times from Drew Hamrick, who's I think he's the vice president, he's one of the lobbyists for the Apartment Association, is he says that These investors you're talking about who back these big apartment projects, they are increasingly turning away from Colorado because the regulatory environment is too uncertain. They can't rely on this state because our lawmakers have got it in their heads. We've got this Democratic majority, and all of these Democrats have ideas for how to fix the housing market. And these investors are just like, we don't even know what the future is going to be like. We don't know how much money we're going to make. So we'll go to somewhere that's more reliable. That's a safer investment for us, merely because of the uncertainty itself. What do you think about that?
I think there's a couple things. One, it would be nice to have like a grand vision of like Colorado 2030. This is what the upzoning is going to be like, and this is how we're going to encourage the building of housing. And I am a YIMBY. Like I think I'm trying to build an ADU in my backyard, and nothing makes you more libertarian than trying to make an ADU in your backyard, where some intern at community planning and development is like, man, your setback is like 3 feet, but maybe it should be like 4 feet. I'm like, what is it suggest? Why did you delay my project 2 weeks for this?
Yeah, what am I? Yeah.
Anyways, I become Ron Swanson because of this ADU.
Okay.
The frustrating thing about this, and let's zoom out, right? So you're saying in this world, these investors are not going to invest in Colorado because we have an unfair regulatory practice.
Not but unfair, it's not uncertain.
Uncertain. But let's zoom out and say, people are saying this about food, right? Oh, we don't want to do restaurants. It's uncertain. Oh, we don't want to do this industry because of
No,
uncertain.
It's different. It's not uncertain. No, it's different. It's different.
What I want to zoom out, though, real quick, is the 1% of people who have wealth. In America, the 1% of people own more wealth than the bottom 50%. In the top 10%, almost like 80 to 90% of all the wealth. So there's a small group of people who have all this money who are looking at rates of return. They don't care if they're building housing. They don't care if they're building grocery stores. They don't care if they're buying up dental clinics and flipping them over, right? There's this small group of capital owners that's like, I'll choose Colorado. Nah. I'll choose Montana. Nah. And that's not how society used to work. It used to be that like Paul loves Denver. Paul made it big here in Denver being a sports icon or a media icon. And now you want to have a little bit of return on your money, so you're going to build an apartment complex off Alameda. That's how it used to be. And now we have to beg and like make everything perfect, roll out the red carpet, be like, please build in our community.
That's how I feel, is like, it's just like we have to just suck up to developers any way we possibly can to give us this thing that everyone needs. Everyone needs is housing. There has to be a better way. Like, there has to be a better way. It cannot be determined by how developers do or do not want to build here based on their return on investment. It's not working. It hasn't been. I'm thinking about this. I had a Twitter fight with some bozo 10 years ago who was like, the trickle down will happen. If we build enough units, the prices will go down. I was like, well, then what is RealPage doing? Like,
no, that's why rents are going down currently.
Okay, good.
Because we built enough housing.
So we don't need any
Correct.
more.
So they'll build
because our population is still growing.
So they'll build to the certain cap rate, right? So there's investors who are like, I'll build at 12%, 11%, 10%. And they'll go all the way down. And they stop at one point. And they're stopping at 6.5. Maybe they can prove to me, they're like, hey, Deep, we're actually building these apartment complexes and losing money. And then I'm like, wow, free markets work. But that's not the case that's happening. What's happening in that article I saw, and what the mayor is saying is like, these are too expensive for them to make. They're not making enough profits. So maybe we need to tweak this law or tweak this law.
Yeah. And specifically the law that, the other thing the apartment association people are angry about is the affordable housing ordinance that Denver put on the books back in 2019 and went into effect in 2023, I believe. And that's part of why rents are going down, is because all these developers rushed to get their permits in so they could beat the...
So they didn't have to build affordable housing.
So they didn't have to build the affordable housing.
They did not have to build affordable housing.
They would say, why is it our responsibility? But they rushed to get it in before the deadline. And they got all those permits in, and now all the apartments that they got permits for are being built and are coming online now. So we're having this glut of supply. But now, because the permits are not being filed at the same rate, the supply line, the queue, has dried up. And so we're going to have the reverse problem, and soon there's going to be not enough supply to keep up. So the rent is going to go back up. That's what Mayor Johnston is afraid of.
Yeah.
And he says that he is not looking at changing that. Although it's interesting to me that he was talking about it at all, because I think it's political poison. I think for Denverites, this affordable housing thing is like, people still think about it. They love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like housing costs are like one of the fastest growing, largest items in the middle class's budget, and the lower income's budget that's swamping everything, right? It's growing faster than anything else. It's nice that rents are decreasing here, and hopefully they can keep decreasing.
Yeah.
But it is a real problem. If Denver and Colorado and the United States of America can only ever build at a 6.5% cap rate, we're not going to ever build enough housing, right? We're going to need either somehow investors are going to need to be okay getting a 3% or 2% return, which they won't be because you can just stick your money in a savings and get more than that. Or we're going to need a public builder that's like, hey, we're actually going to lose 1% on this, but we're building 1,000 units because housing is a good in itself. Like, we never imagined the school system as losing money, right? We are investing into society, right? We never think about roads as losing money unless it's Alameda.
Some people do.
But, you know, it's this frustrating thing, and there's so many symptoms of this in society. Restaurants, for example. Back in the day, you could have a restaurant where it's like, listen, the chef is going to make money, the owner is going to make some money, the waiters are going to make some money, and we're going to run this restaurant for 20 years, and life's going to be good. But now it's like, this investor gave me $200,000 to open this restaurant, and I also need to give him 10% profits on top of all your salaries every quarter, or we're going to get shut down. And that's what's happening.
Bree, I want you to my premise of like what Michael Johnston should be afraid of, what the mayor should be afraid of when it comes to the rental market. What do you think are his liabilities?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to it, the thing that it's just such a basic need for people. If it can't be met, they're not going to be happy. Like, you need affordable. This is like you're talking about. It's like, can we just tax the rich people a little bit more, put that money more in people's pockets? Like, if people have more money, they spend more money. It's like people do want to live in these units. They just can't afford it. And to me, it just says like, yeah, maybe Denver might be in trouble a little bit here.
That connects to the other thing of the apartment people blamed was anemic job growth, which is another big problem right now. And
it's hard for me as someone who's like grown up here to think like, man, right before those 2010s boom time for Denver, shit was so cheap. It was great. You could have an apartment that you could afford. I worked at Chili's and could live downtown. I could have a practice space and afford it. And it just changed the whole morale of how people felt about Denver. And I think that's a bigger part of it too, is like, why do I want to live here? What's the benefit anymore? The jobs aren't good. It's too expensive. Like, what am I doing here? And a lot of folks moved here because it was beautiful and because it was affordable. And I don't know if we'll ever be there again, but I don't know. Part of me is like, God, sure, let the bottom fall out. Artists and
reality check.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
that's the accelerationist view.
No, I know. I'm not
burn
saying,
it down.
Burn it down is one way to say it. It's just like, it's funny to think about the rewriting of the narratives of downtown and things like this as we look back on it. It's like, it used to be a slum. It was such a dump. And then all these people came in and renamed it Lodo and made it amazing. Guess
we
what?
love the dump now.
The dump was
too
cheap.
Fancy.
Yeah, but also before that, the dump was cheap. It was great. There was like, I'm not saying that it was perfect by all means. There's a lot of problems with that era of Denver too, but there was also a lot of beautiful stuff happening, in part just because it was more affordable. And so can we strike a balance maybe between that, the dump and this weird world that developers are building for that clearly doesn't exist?
But it's also
the secret of the whole thing is, and we got to move on, but the balance, I think, that's the whole secret. But I want to hear from you all, listeners. What do you think? 720-500-5418. The rental market. Rents are going down, and a million other problems.
I would love to hear from renters. Like, are you hopping to a new place? Are you
negotiate
finding
for a better rent now? Now's the time.
Are you just looking around and seeing something that's better for you? Like, is it worth it to stay? Maybe you are. If you're thinking about moving, let us know why. I'm so curious.
So one more break, and we'll be back with wins and fails. All right, we're back. It's time for the best way to end the week. Wins and fails, aka Rocky Mountain highs and lows. Each of us brought a recent local something that we think is a win. Something someone did awesome, or something they tried to do and then it worked out, or a fail, the opposite, the faceplant. Fails first. Bree, do you want to give us your fail?
Sure. So again, earlier this week, I talked to David Sirota about the Telluride Ski Patrol union fight. And a story came out that day. I think I was talking to him about, so there was a strike of ski patrollers in Telluride.
Mhm.
They were pushing back on the resort. They were wanting more money. They, like cost of living, all these same conversations we're having about Denver, people are having in ski towns for different reasons. But so it's been a big fight. And there was this story that came out that someone, councilperson Kristen Permakoff, was in a council meeting, and there were some folks supporting the union coming up and speaking, and she thought she was muted, and she called this person a dumb bitch. Fail for you for not being muted, but also like maybe step away from your job for a minute if you're that mad at someone at the Telluride Town Council for supporting people that make your economy go. Like, girlfriend, ski patrollers are important, and it's fine if you're disagreeing with what they're saying, but like, don't call somebody a dumb B word.
Hot mics, damn.
Yeah, that'll get you. But I just thought fail for her, and also just be a better person.
Deep, you got a fail?
My fail comes from last weekend, so it's still sort of this week, in my opinion, is we lost the Patriots' Bo Nix's ankle to a conspiracy to make the Patriots go to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, you think Roger Goodell was behind the ankle break? This is a Tanya Harding situation?
I think it's the dog people, actually. They put some bad juju.
Okay.
Right? The dog people are like, he doesn't like dogs. Put some candles in a circle, put them there, rip the piece of his ankle off.
Is he doing witchcraft? Is that what you're
saying? No. The dog people did witchcraft on Bo Nix.
Oh, I didn't know.
To break his ankle.
I got some dog. Okay, in
that's my
community.
conspiracy theory, at least.
Well, it's good.
Because we put a lot of bad juju in the world, talking about his
discomfort with dogs.
His respectful discomfort with dogs.
Yeah, watching that video, I think he did a very
like
good
cool
job.
Guy who handled it good.
He was trying not to ruffle feathers.
And maybe he doesn't like dogs.
So it's crazy and sad that we lost him like this. It's like,
so dog lovers, quit using dark magic on Bo Nix, please. I'm calling you all my fellow.
Use on the Patriots.
Witches, please stop doing that.
I heard our backup quarterback, Steady Time. He loves dogs, so give him Steady Time.
What's his real name?
Stigham.
His name is Jarrett Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham. Okay.
Yeah.
Or Steady Time, as the TikTok kids call him.
I mean, if he wins, we're gonna have to really work on these nicknames. We're gonna have to workshop this and figure out some
nicknames. Have to be organic. They cannot be created. You have to someone has to it just has to appear and everyone grab onto it.
I was pushing
you grab onto Steady.
As long as he's not making it up himself. That's the other rule of nicknames.
Okay, my fail.
Yours Broncos related?
No, it's just like something I'm kind of even hesitant to talk about because it's like has the potential to be a really big thing, I think, but I think people should know that it's happening. I think it's just a case of bad timing personally, but so we'd been talking about how President Trump used these reports of fraud in Minnesota and the social services and federal funding for these school programs to justify his crackdown on Minneapolis. We're seeing all these shocking images of ICE and stuff on the streets there. And when we talked about this last week, none of us could recall any fraud that might draw his attention to Colorado.
I thought this immediately when the story dropped.
Yes. So there was a headline this week about an instance of exactly this kind of fraud. $25 million, according to the Denver Post, is the current estimate out of the state's Medicaid office. Apparently, a few years ago, there was this big problem with drivers who were getting paid by the mile to drive Medicaid patients to and from doctors. And because they were getting paid by the mile, these drivers got in their heads to just load up their cars full of, it sounds like, unhoused people and anyone and drive to the Springs, to Pueblo, up and down the highway and just cash in. Costs for this program. Now, this is not the $25 million fraud estimate, but spending on the program nearly tripled in 1 year when this fraud we now know was happening, from $93 million to $270 million in 2023.
2023, okay. That feels like a 5-alarm fire of stop this thing right now and figure out what happened.
They say that it's over, that they changed the program. They also estimate that the fraud was only $25 million, but that spending is a lot more than $25 million. And that kind of lack of, I just want more information, I guess, and I'm worried about it. I'm worried about the wrong people getting this information and twisting it into something.
Weird TikToker making some crazy video, approaching people outside of Denver Health or something. Like, I can just see it.
Who drove you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of this makes me so sad.
Let's move on to wins. Deep, what's your win?
The economists in YouGov did a poll of all 50 states about Trump's projected net approval.
Okay.
And Colorado is number one at negative 28% favorability for Donald Trump. The next highest is Minnesota, which is crazy. Colorado's number one.
Over Minnesota.
Wow. So we're negative 28%. We are the most anti-Trump state.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
when was the
if
poll
you want
taken?
a free Tina Pierce, come and get her.
You have to go through Deep first.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I think that was cool.
Poll.
I was like, yeah, go Colorado.
I kind of get it. I mean, he's been banging on us for a long time. It's been his
I
steady
feel like it's going to
dribs
be
and
a
drabs
list of just
like
all the states he's banged on lately will be the...
Well, do you want to know the list?
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
like
Colorado,
California.
Minnesota, then Georgia,
Huh.
Wisconsin, Nevada, Virginia, Arizona, Texas,
So
negative
there's a lot of
17%.
folks that are
Interesting.
switching, finally seeing the light.
The most
I don't know.
supportive
ICE
state?
is ICE polls about ICE right now. Very unpopular. People are
Yeah.
not excited, but like
I mean, when
Republicans
you-
are not excited about ICE right now.
I'm
Looking
like,
at what's
when
happening in
you're-
Minneapolis.
When you're apprehending children and veterans,
When you're
when you're murdering people in broad
Yeah.
daylight, I can see why they're not popular.
one of our neighboring states is the most supportive of Trump.
I mean, it could New Mexico also,
Nebraska,
Utah, all of them. Could be it. Wyoming, is it?
Wyoming, sure.
Okay.
Utah's up there
what's
too.
their population? I mean, it's tiny.
500,000.
Yeah, small. Okay. I guess I will go next, and you can go last, Bree. I have 2 wins. Number 1, gotta give it up to Trader Joe's for the ketchup flavored lattice potato chips.
Paul's Canadian.
I got a bag of these.
He loves. It's Canadian.
Chips is my favorite food, and
Tomato
ketchup flavored
yeah,
chip
ketchup
is
flavored.
a Canadian thing. And
Yes.
now Trader Joe's has got them, but these ones in particular, so good. Oh my god!
Can I ask you a question, Paul? I was
Of
listening
course.
to a CBC podcast, and because they did it in depth on Nexium, and I'm obsessed with that cult for some
Oh my
reason.
God, what a great cult.
I know. I don't know. I'm so interested in it. I can't stop listening to stuff about it. But they were interviewing people and asking them how they liked. I thought it was called poutine. Everyone called it Putin. Or Putin. How do
Where
you
were
say
these
it?
people from?
That's a good question. I should double check. I don't
Putin?
know. I feel like the podcast is in Toronto, but I could be wrong. How do you say it? Just curious.
I'd say poutine.
Okay. Just curious. Thank you for clarifying that.
My more serious win I got to give to Frank Locantore.
Oh.
He's a sponsor of the show with the Colfax Avenue bid.
Also just a great guy. I love Frank. Good job, Frank. Sorry, go ahead.
But
It's
he
Frank's
gets a win this week because he has been pushing on the city to consider adding housing to this police station redevelopment project. There's a police station on Colfax at Washington Street. It's being rebuilt with bond money, the last bond. It needs to be finished by 2027. He's been like, we need housing on Colfax to help, to make sure these businesses survive. It's a transit corridor. We're investing all this money in BRT. It's the perfect time to add housing. Why not do that as part of this police station?
Who wants to live above a police station? But it's a good idea. Housing is housing.
The price is right.
Housing is housing. Maybe police officers.
Yeah.
That's
anyway,
cool.
I mean, the mayor announced this week that the project is being paused and they're exploring new opportunities at the site, which could potentially include housing, according to spokesperson John Ewing. So
Maybe they'll create
that's
a
win,
task force.
win for Frank.
Task force to a working group.
To
pilot
yeah.
program.
Wow.
We'll see how it goes.
Wow. You two are both wearing cynicism hats right
we
now.
are haters.
Cynicism. No, wait.
The cynics hats and the socialist
hat.
gloves.
It was the cynics hat.
Yeah.
We look
Optimist
crazy.
socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Glasses.
Good fit. Bree, what's your win?
Well, one, I guess I would just say I want to say shout out to the people of Minneapolis and Minnesota. They've been utilizing really incredible community-based mutual aid networks to support each other while ICE is invading. And they're raising money for each other. They're buying groceries for each other. They're doing these amazing, huge organizing efforts to ensure that folks don't have to leave their house if they feel unsafe. And I just want to give them a shout out. It's such an incredible thing to watch in the face of this situation. And I think a lot of our communities in other states could learn by just watching them, because this is totally community organized and it's incredible. So shout out to those folks. But my win goes to myself. I've joined
Wow.
the Smug Legions.
The rare self win.
Yes.
Maybe it's the Obama giving himself the medal.
Yes.
I'm joining the Smug Legions of EV owners, and I'm an electric vehicle driver now. So if you think my indignance around secret parking spaces is obnoxious, wait till you find out all the sick parking I get as a EV person now. I see those spots right up front.
Yes, they are always often. What kind of car you get?
So my mom, shout out Brooke, got a new Subaru. I can't remember. It's like a small EV. She got it last year, and she gifted me her 2017 Nissan Leaf.
Oh,
so
Leaf.
I'm loving it already. Although the battery is very small, and I'm afraid I'm going to run out of energy.
What's the range?
100
This is
miles.
exciting. Oh wow!
It's like
good
at
for commuting.
29 right now, so
Yeah,
I
you
need
can
to
take it
find
around.
somewhere to plug it in. But I love it already. I'm already just loving it. I've also never had a car that feels this new. My last car is 20 years. Actually, I gave my husband my car, which was an upgrade from his 25-year-old car. But so yeah, now I'm an EV owner.
Congratulations!
Nice.
Thank you. Thanks.
Enjoy your smugness.
I'm just all about it.
I can tell you're reveling.
Waiting to get a
Yeah.
personalized plate like every Tesla driver that says something ridiculous like F you OPEC or whatever.
Do we want listeners to pitch ideas for your?
You know, I love
plates?
a personalized license plate.
your
If you
Leaf?
have an idea for my Leaf, let me know.
Wow.
I will apply for it. It's only $60.
Well, you know how to reach us, listeners, 720-500-518. If you got a license plate pitch for Bree or anything else, comments on anything we talked about, really anytime. We loved hearing from you about what's going on in your part of the city. But that's the show. Thank you all for joining me. Really fun one. Great week. Deep. Bree, see you next time.
thank you. Go Broncos.
Thanks, guys.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. Our producers this week were Olivia Jewel Love, Lizzie Goldsmith, and me, Paul Caroli. We recorded Dude Studios and 5 Points with support from Jacob Rupp and Nick Holmby. Peyton Garcia and Lizzie Goldsmith write our morning newsletter, Hey Denver. Abby Madigan runs our social media. Bree Davies is our host. Our music is by Los Mocochetes with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at CityCast Denver and tell a neighbor in West Wash Park about us the next time you see them. Thanks to all the new neighbors who've joined the membership program. You too can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. If you do it right now, you get an invite to that awesome event at Convivio Cafe. You can sign up for the daily newsletter I mentioned and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. See you next time.